Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Ramona Douglas joining us here. So excited to have her here and to talk today more about her work and all she does in the behavior health professional business. So let's start by saying welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I've been looking for this today.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations on being here. I know My People Arise is the name of the company and you are a behavior health therapist. Would you mind sharing how we can contact you?
Yes, you can contact me at mypeoplearise@gmail.com, or you can call me at 313-926-7463.
Perfect. Well, let's also talk a little bit about the work you're doing. And it's exciting to have you here. Where are you from?
I am from Detroit, Michigan, and born in St. Louis, Missouri, but Detroit is my home, and this is where I'm settled at. And I'm
Beautiful.
from the west side of Detroit, but I have the way where I live at, I have routes to everywhere around the city. I'm in a good location to get it to and cross from town.
Perfect. Well, let me
Mhm.
ask this. Your desire to help others. It goes back to when you were a child. So
And
tell
you
us a
know
little bit
what?
about this if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Okay, so as a child, I had um I had friends that were picked on, especially in the third grade. Her name was Billy, and I couldn't stand that they would pick on her.
Uh,
So I found myself taking up for her, speaking up for her, and taking her up under my wing. And also, whatever child was like the outcast, I would reach out to them, become their friend. Do whatever I can. I even take them over to my house. I feed them, play with them. I may have some clothes or something that they did not have, and I would give it to them. But
aw.
I really hate that others bully kids. I couldn't stand it back then. So I would fight the other kids too. I would fight them for my friends, my new friends.
Perfect. Well, I heard about this. You said since you were in third grade, right? You said you had a
Yeah.
friend who was always
Yeah.
picked on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And that was horrible,
Mhm.
right? To watch someone.
It
So you
was.
realized then, right? Let me
Mhm.
hear this. Let me hear the story behind it.
I just could not stand it because she would cry, and any child, we all there for an education, not to really be picked on, or someone giving another person a hard day at school. This little girl was trying to learn.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
she was trying to learn, yes, and they would pick on her. And so every child after that I saw was getting picked on, they would be my friends. I would not be friends with no one else but them.
Oh my goodness. Ah, and then so it was from that moment on. Tell me what happened.
It inspired me to want to reach out and help people. To help
Perfect.
them become empowered and strong and just to
Mm-hmm.
overcome their barriers, because that's
Yes.
traumatizing. It's traumatizing, and that's what made me become a social worker. It is. That was it. That was it. Just growing up all the way up until now. That
Oh
was
my
it.
goodness. Well,
Mhm.
here you are. And let me ask, you had some obstacles to overcome, right? And you
Yeah.
mentioned raising children as a single mom while pursuing a career and your own issue. You left home at a young age. And I would love to hear about you and your family life. I know you have three adult children, and I can't believe this. Is it right? 10 grandchildren?
Yes, 10 grandchildren I have. I left home because my household became dysfunctional.
Yeah.
You know, it was me, um, my two brothers, we was at the home, and it just got so bad to where um my auntie was a school teacher, would make it so bad. But she would give us bus tickets. The food at home, for some reason, I don't know, they just started doing worldly things, I would say. And
Mhm.
there were a lot of people always coming over and stuff like that. So thank God in the 8th grade, because I moved here from Baton
Ah.
Rouge, Louisiana, and we ended
Oh,
up staying
okay.
with my auntie. So I used to be an honor roll student and everything. So when I got home, there was the food, it was no food. So I would sell my bus tickets and I would walk
Mm,
miles and miles to school, and I would eat off of the money for the bus tickets.
got it. Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And then I was lucky I got into police cadet. I became a police cadet, so that allowed me to get the summer jobs. I worked the summer
Mhm.
jobs, and when I turned 16, I ended up getting jobs, and that's what allowed me to leave home. That way I could eat, I could feed my brothers now. I could put clothes on our
God
back, and we was just
bless.
fine. But yeah, I did leave home. I never went back.
Mm.
And I ended up having my first child at 19. And
Ah,
at 19, it inspired me to go back and get my GED. And from there, I went on to college, and I had two more after him, and I would put them in a buggy and we would walk to school, rain, sleet, or snow. And I would sit them out in the hallway, but I would be by the door
ah,
and I would just make sure they had everything they needed in the hallway. They was right there. They could see me, I could see them, and I learned. And now I
ah.
got my master's degree in social work. So, yeah.
God bless you. Congratulations on doing
Mhm.
so much and being such an amazing parent. Look, I have a 7 and 9 year old. I've been a single mother since I've had kids, and it's not
Yeah.
easy. It's not easy. So
Mhm.
I give you so much credit for all that you've done to help this. And
Thank
then
you.
I also read
It
about
was
some other
hard.
trials along the way. So then you also dealt with domestic violence and cheating,
Oh,
and oh,
they fathers. And that's the thing about meeting men. We was young, of course, but I didn't see it's hard to tell when you are in a domestic violence situation. It's hard to see that person as a woman beater because they are so nice, but I'll tell you my first two children, their father, who I call the clown, he would fight me for it to entertain the company
oh,
that was in the house.
mm-hmm,
That's the only time we fought. We never fought until company came around. He was one of those, okay?
yep, mm-hmm,
And so I left him really with the first child, but
okay,
I ended up with another boyfriend, and Lord knows I found out I was pregnant.
ah,
And through the calculation, I found out it was the other guy's baby. So
yeah.
I broke up with the good guy that was my boyfriend to try to make it work with that dude. And it
Yeah.
was my house. I always had my own. I
Oh.
let that guy come back in, and I worked two jobs with my daughter while I was pregnant with her because I had a son, the first child. So I had my daughter, I worked the two
Mm-hmm.
jobs while he was at home. He was sorry. And he babysat my son though, so I let him stay. But after I had her, I let
Mm.
him go. And then the cups, let me see, because they're 4 years apart, the two girls.
Okay.
Ended up having another girl 4 years later by another guy. And I didn't know this dude was obsessed with me and possessive. And so he ended up telling me he was trying to fight me to what they say, beat you into submissiveness.
Mm.
He thought that he would scare me
Yeah.
to where I would be too scared to leave him. Now he must have learned that from his household, He had to have learned that from his household. So I told him, well, you fucked up. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I told
Absolutely.
him. But see, my lesson, and I probably didn't add that to the men that fought me because my dad fought my mother. So it's no way I'm about to be my mother in these relationships. See, so I just had my little 2x4s and pepper sprays and my tasers and every item, hammers, whatever I could. My favorite was the 2x4 though. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever they tried to hit me, it never worked out for them because my first two children's father, their father was my height, and I used to take up for my brother and other people, like I told you. So
Yeah.
what did that tell you? You can't whoop me if you want
Yeah.
to.
No,
So
no.
I would always win the fight. So he started trying to hit me from the back.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled my hair. I just politely turn around with his hand in my hair, and I just beat him up. But the second one was way taller than me, but I had to whoop on
Mm-hmm.
him too. He told me I fight like a man. Well, don't put your hands on me.
Damn
So that
right.
Listen, I'm hoping that they learn not to put your hands on women because you just never know.
Nope, don't ever
Uh, be-
underestimate a woman. And boy, oh boy, I commend you on all of this. And this is what I love about you already, because we just got to meet today for the first time, but you're so open to share your own experiences that
oh
makes you
yeah, they
so
gotta know. Cause I tell them there's
absolutely.
nothing I done been through or don't know about that you can tell me. So I want them to be open and honest with me. I said I done been there, done that, or I know somebody that have, you
Damn
know.
right. Well, thank you so
Hmm.
much. And
Thank
now
you.
let's talk about this work that you're doing as a social
Okay.
worker. What is your
Okay.
exact title? How do I refer to you
Okay.
as?
So I am what they call a psychotherapist.
Okay.
Okay. I deal with behavior health issues, which is in bed with mental health. Okay. And so I handle the normal depression, you know, all the way to schizophrenia, down to those that got DBT. And that's when you hear multiple voices, you know, and you can see things. And so I deal with all of that, you know. I didn't even have serial rapists in my office. I didn't
Mm,
had a lot. There's a lot of people I didn't deal with. I didn't deal with people that done been tied up in the basement and hit with objects. They was trying to kill him, torture him first and then kill him. He escaped out the window. So that's
wow.
PTSD, you know. So it's hard. I got women who boyfriends have been shot right before them, parents who have lost their
Mm-hmm.
children. You know, I do marriage couples too. They both come in. I let them talk to me for a few times together, and then I break it down along with the children too. I let them come in with the parents so I can get a full story, and then I deal with the child individually. But I got a woman who I tried to save, and this woman went back to this man. Oh my God.
Oh,
He beat her so bad on the freeway, you know, and just kicked her out the
mm,
car. And she ran to the office where I was. And she was all beat up. And I took her straight to a woman's shelter. And then I took her out of town to another shelter. And he was a client too at the facility where I worked at. But yeah, I believe in really helping them to make a difference. I believe that we can all overcome the things we've been through. You just need a support system. You need
God
somebody
bless.
there. Because I
Oh,
don't just
yeah.
see you in the office. You can call me. You may call me, you know, and then I would deal with you after that. I'll talk to you on the phone. If I have to come over to your house, I come over to your house. But I really go above and beyond to help my patients out. I don't just sit there and see them in the office because that's not helping them.
Yeah.
I try to give them resources. I connect them. I take them to different other agencies, whatever they need help with. That's what I do. I'm a
Beautiful.
go-getter, and I want them to be inspired as well, to show them. That's what I do.
Amazing. Well, we commend you on that. How do we reach you, by the way? Do you have a phone number, email? Do you have a website that we can find you at?
My website was My People Arise, but I took it down because it had too many glitches in it. I gotta get
Okay,
another
that's fine.
website buyer. Yeah, I gotta find me another one, but it's still gonna be My People Arise no matter what. It's gonna
Beautiful.
be .org, mypeoplearise.org. Okay,
Beautiful.
or they can call me at, I mean, contact me through mypeoplearise@gmail.com, or they can call me at 313-926-7463. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, as
Mhm.
a psychotherapist, I know for today you also wanted to dive into more details about how you get to know your patients, how you listen to their issues, and of course, help them to deal with issues to empower them physically, mentally, emotionally, and even economically. So please let's share, if you don't mind, a little bit about that.
You see my face.
I
So
see
when
your
they get
face.
in there, I'm a friendly, approachable person.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people is scared to kind of open up, but due to the intake packet, I kind of see what they're going through and what they need help with. So while I'm typing in all of the information, I just start talking to them to get them to warm up, you know. And I try to what word would I use? I kind of get them to trust me. And I'd
Mhm.
be like, honey, you can tell me anything. I promise you, because I need you to talk to me. How
Yeah.
can I help you if you won't talk to me? I
Yeah.
said, your story is nothing that I haven't heard. And I said, I'm here to help you. I don't know about the other therapists
Mhm.
or if they've ever been to another therapist. I tell them, but I'm here to help them. And so they'll slowly start talking to me because I got to ask them questions while
Yeah.
I'm putting the information in the
Absolutely.
system. And then they just open up all the way. And so I take my notepad because these are my side notes on what I can do to help them. I'm already trying to figure it out. But we all become real close. Each and every single patient become real close. We all do. We always get real close. And the reason I chose to work for myself and open up my people arise is because other agencies have
Mhm.
restrictions on what their employees can do. And so because of those restrictions, I can't help them all the way like I
Yeah.
like, or I do it behind their back. But I need to be able to do whatever I need with them. I got
Awesome.
clients at other agencies waiting on me now to get fully into what I need to do with them. They still
Beautiful.
waiting on me. So the office is 300 Northland Park Court. It's in Southfield, Michigan. And I should be in there shortly, that office, moving over to Southfield.
Well, thank you
But in
for
the meantime,
sharing that. And do you want to share some of the types of things that you're helping people with?
oh yeah, we do. I help them. Okay, so if they're battered women, the first thing we got to do is get them into a battered shelter.
Okay.
So I look hard. Okay, I find them a battered shelter. After that, they may need help getting some of their stuff out the house. But first, what I try to do is get them to do the pack slowly kind of thing, if it's safe
Mhm.
enough to go home. Pack slowly, get the necessities, okay? But we already been and set them up an appointment with the shelter so they can go on in there. And I personally go take them to make sure they are all right and safe. I will personally escort them up there to the shelter. I'm not worried about their spouse or whoever it is. My goal is to help them. Okay, and so then we keep in touch. They keep coming into the office and
Yeah.
we figure out what all they need help with, which is probably a job, which is probably GED, which is probably housing, you know. If they have children, which they probably do, we may transfer them over to a different school. If they need clothing, I try to help them obtain clothing and stuff like that. Whatever I have to do, I will help them. I will
Oh my
make sure they
goodness.
are safe from their abuser.
Ah, well,
And
you
if
are
they're coming home from prison, they need a lot of help, you know. So the goal is to make them productive and economically stable, you know, because they come from a low place. They have to slowly get lifted up and
yeah.
inspired. We must empower everyone, you know, you got to overcome all your barriers first. That's what you have to do. Your childhood is traumatizing. The adulthood may be traumatizing, but you got to accept those things and let them go. You got to. Because if you don't, how can I really help you if you still holding on to all that pain? Pain will never leave, but just learn to cope with it. That's what I say.
Ah, amazing. And by the way, just curious, are you working with those only in your state, or do you do any virtual work like this with other people out of state?
You know what? I think I am going to consider going virtual outside of
Okay.
Michigan because to me, a lot of them do it for the pay. They don't really have that passion that they should have because you become a therapist for a reason. You do. And yeah, you bring them problems home with you, but you bring them home with you to figure out a solution for your patients. You know, that's what I do. I live for them. And so I am thinking about starting up a virtual. And
Mm.
it'll be after 5 and maybe on some days, because I got some days blocked to where I could do anything I need to do.
Uh-huh. That's amazing that you dedicate your time to helping so many. And wow, really appreciate this. So glad we connected and they're helping so many. And by the way, if
Mhm.
you are just tuning in, we want to remind you who we're speaking to. Ramona Douglas here, joining us today live from Southfield, Michigan. And as a psychotherapist, she's helping so many. Do you also work with
I work
children
with
as well as
children too.
families? You
Yeah,
do.
my the youngest of my babies, I had a 3 and a 5-year-old,
Mm,
and of course, they all over the office going in my
okay.
bag looking for snacks.
Uh-huh,
But
of
it's okay
course.
because I bring a bag of coloring books, crayons, and activities for them so we
Ah,
can all work together. And the more friendlier I am to them, the more I can get answers out of them.
oh, absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. And I
Mhm.
love that you love what you do. And in our last few minutes together, what else do you want to make sure you share for today?
I want my viewers to know that I know that everyone is going through stuff, and I want y'all to know that it is people out there that care. It's things that may have happened to people that they don't care to
Yeah.
share, and they just try to cope with it, which is okay if you're strong enough to deal with it, but you need to share your story too. Share your story. Your story can help somebody else. But
Mm,
don't be scared to reach out to me because don't nobody know we confidential. Nobody will ever know I hold everything. My goal is just to help. Yeah, it is just to help.
beautiful. Well, in
Mhm.
closing today, if someone out there is suffering in need of any type of help, right? You're here. Um, and in these trying times, can I just ask mostly, are you dealing with a lot of people? Do you even deal with like couples and family dynamics if not getting along? Do you work with whole families too?
Oh, I work with everybody.
Okay.
Yes, I had whole families come in. Sometimes they can't stand each other. But I need them in my office because we gotta talk. I'm like a mother hen. That's
You
the good thing
are.
about me. I'm gonna bring them two in the office and we gonna talk. We gotta talk about it. I don't do the hug at the end thing, but I just need them to talk. But I do, and I pull them in. First, you always know I need them together because I need a story, I need a picture. And then I pull them in individually. And then after so many sessions, I bring them back together. But I keep working individually because they all have different issues.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
couples they get into it in my office sometime, but I cut them out. We have to have a little time out, take a deep breath, let her talk, just listen so that
Mm-hmm.
you'll understand her, and I tell her to be quiet so that she can understand him, you
Yep,
know.
absolutely.
That they
Absolutely.
went out to each other jobs and fought and all that old crazy stuff. So they decided to come in for counseling, and it works. It
Ah,
works. I still have good results to this day. People
ah.
tell me thank you.
Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for being here, for joining us. And let's remind everyone how we can contact you once again. Thank you.
Okay. My people arise at gmail.com, or you can call me at 313-926-7463. And the website will always be mypeoplearise.org. I had it as .com too, so I'm gonna change it to .org. Yes. But you always
Beautiful.
can reach out to the station if you can't remember that, and they will contact me and let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us, and looking forward to the next time we get to connect, okay? Thanks so much.
Okay.
Pleasure meeting
Thank
you
you.
and
Same
looking
here.
forward
Thank
to
you,
next
dear.
time, okay? Thank you for helping
Okay.
so many and have a
You're
fantastic
welcome.
day. And to all of
You as
our listeners,
well.
please stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up after the break. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.